This is disastrous from a European perspective because the United States has served as a pacifier. The Europeans, for good reasons, I don't blame the Europeans at all, don't want us to leave. Because as long as you have Uncle Sam in Europe, NATO is intact, you have the pacifier in place. And nobody has to worry about Germany rearming, right? And nobody has to worry about the Russians because the Americans are there. But you take the Americans away, and it's a very different situation because Europe is then on its own, and it quickly becomes apparent that Europe is not a political entity by itself, that Europe is a collection of different states that have all sorts of collective action problems, that have all sorts of different security concerns. If you're Spain, you think about Ukraine very differently than if you're Poland, obviously. And then if you factor in history, relations between countries like Germany and France, Germany and Denmark, and especially Germany and Poland come to the fore. And the United States is not there, to act as a pacifier and solve collective action problems and smooth ruffled feathers. Um, so, from a European perspective, the key is to try to keep the Americans in. And that would be tough to do under any circumstances because of the structural imperatives here. The fact that East Asia is so important to the United States, but it's especially tough because Trump is the president. And Trump basically loathes the Europeans. The Europeans, of course, understand this. They don't talk much about it because they understand that you have to constantly kiss up to President Trump uh, and be nice to him and so forth and so on. But they understand that he loathes them and he would be perfectly happy to put an end to NATO and get out of Europe. So it's going to be very difficult for the Europeans moving forward to keep that pacifier in place.
Well, I think this also explains why the Europeans are, I guess, behaving so different from the rest of the world. Because, well, when the world was bipolar, either you choose one camp or the other, but by marrying one, you also isolate yourself from the other. So it was easier, I guess, to have unity in Europe under the bipolarities. And again, with unipolarity, what I heard as well from the central bank chief of Hungary and others was, well, America was the only game in town. If you wanted to prosper, you would ride this wave. So you went with the US. But a multipolar system, it offers a lot of attraction to many countries around the world because